Welcome to this video where we'll be looking at Fusion 360 and how you can create hollow objects in the program. We're going to run you through a couple of ways. It's going to be a shorter tutorial hopefully. We're not going to watch me go through the whole process because hopefully you've already watched the previous videos on how to do some of the basics. So this is the type of object we're going to be trying to create. You can see we've got this hollow base here. We've got this hollow lid here. And these two parts will connect, and you can see the idea is that you've got some form of screw or machine screw going through the back or bolt to hold the two together. Obviously you can go in and add far more details, but as a basic level you want to create a hollow object, but you want it to be able to split in two parts and be a temporary join. So this is the type of object we're going to go for. So the first thing you can do is, if you're still working on not a basic level in that sense, but if you're working on a basic, you draw a sketch and you extrude it, you draw another part of the sketch and you extrude it sort of method, then this will be the first starting part of the video for you. So what we're going to look at here is taking a drawing, taking a file, and in that file only drawing out construction lines. So you can see here what I've got are the construction lines drawn for the entire object, all the different circle sizes I'm going to need for the connecting type plug sections, the thickness of the wall, the outside of the object, of the casing. So all the construction lines drawn out in here. Then this is saved as the construction sketch. What I then do is I go in and I copy that and I save it as top section, bottom section, part A, part B, whatever you want. And you can see over here I've got the bottom section and the top section. So just a quick reminder on how to do construction sketches. Create your sketch and then go over here, click on construction, and then everything you draw will be a dotted or dashed line, I should say, a broken line, and then that will not appear on your final product, but it will be there for you to draw over as reference. So that's why it's useful. So we've got this construction sketch, we've copied it twice, renamed it, and then we open it up, and if we go through the history you can see what we've done is the first thing is gone in and adjusted the sketch as I needed to. So you can see here I've added in an extra line because when I got to the end I realised I wanted a lip here, so I went all the way back into the original sketch that I had done, that I'd copied. After I've done that I then extrude out the base, so I extruded the base downwards. If you look from the front I've gone down by 2 millimeters. So after that I've then gone in and drawn, each time I've done a sketch where I've had to draw out each part again. Let's get rid of this. So to explain this slightly better, finish this. What I had was just the construction sketch. Yep, so this sketch here is just a construction sketch. You can see that I've added bits in, edited it as I needed to as I went along. So then I've drawn out a new sketch, and that sketch is the exterior of the case, and then what I've done with that is to extrude it downwards to create the back or the bottom, the solid section of the case, and then moved on to this sketch where I've sketched out the outside of the case again, and this time the inside of the case where I want the wall to be, and then from there I've extruded that up to give me the wall of the bottom section of the case. So this entire thing is the bottom section. Then we have filleted the bottom, so if we go around to here you can see we've put a rounded edge on here, just filleted the whole thing. Then we have drawn another sketch. This sketch is the circles that I want to use as the holes. As I said, if I tried to draw this all out it would take ages, but you get the idea. I've then extruded them to create the holes, drawn another sketch to show where I want the indentations to be on the bottom. Finish that sketch. And then when we look at the bottom you can see that I've then put some indentations into here so that the screw head or machine bolt head can sit there. Then we move on. The next sketch involves drawing the circles for where I'm going to extrude up. So you'll see here I've had to draw the circle, if we zoom in, and hide the body. I've had to draw this circle and that circle because I can't take a reference point at the moment off of any of the other circles I've drawn when I try to extrude this. So I've finished that, put this body back on, and then extruded it so that it's come out. You see now it's sticking up. Next stage is to set the plane. I'll put the plane as being this top surface of the wall running around the edge. So we've set that plane, then we've created a new sketch, which is this lip on the inside. So again, I've had to draw outside of the wall again, and then this 1mm line parallel edge on the inside. Finish that sketch. Then we've extruded that down to create the lip. Then we've taken a new plane, which was on top of this section here. Drawn another sketch, which was again circles there and there. And then that sketch allowed us to then extrude in to cut out this section here to allow the plug for the top section to slide in so it all holds together. So you see there's a lot of drawing and a lot of extruding going on, but these are all basic steps that you can do, very simple things if you've watched the other videos. So that's that part. Now what we look at is the top section. To create the top section I did pretty much the same design. So I took the sketch and worked from there, but instead this time what I did is I tried something slightly different. So I've gone in and I've drawn the sketch out, I've then sketched out the outside, I've then extruded the whole thing, and this time I've gone in and used the shell tool. So here what you do is you simply click on the shell tool, which is in the modify menu, go down to shell, and it will remove an entire section. It will hollow the whole thing out so you don't have to keep drawing out those lines. So we shelled it and then we filleted the underneath like previously, and then we went in and did this same thing of creating a plane on here, drawing out the holes and then extruding that section. And this time, instead of going in and drawing a circle and then extruding it down, we started using the hole tool, which is in the create menu under hole. And when you use that, you simply select it, click on the surface, line up the center of the hole, and it shows the options. We'll go through that in a sec when I show you how I made the next part. So then another hole and another hole and another hole, and then we drew out another sketch which was around the outside of here, and we extruded that to create the lip to allow them to sit on top of each other. So that's a very quick run through on how that works, on how you can just create that. Two methods. One is to draw out each section and extrude it up. The other is to use the shell tool. Now the last thing I've been doing is playing around with a quicker way to do it. So if I create a new file and show you that instead of drawing all these things out, sometimes you can just create a box, draw it out to the size you want, which should be 100, so 50 by 100, and then make it the height you want. So in this case it's going to be 12mm, and then we go to the shell tool. Ooh, wrong one. No, sorry, first I'm going to fillet the edges. You need to do things in specific order. This is one of the reasons why it's easier to, as you're starting to learn, to just draw them out, and then once you've mastered some of those skills, or you certainly developed some of those skills, you can start to play around with what I like to think of as the sort of cheat commands, the ones that allow you to do things really quickly. So I'm going to make this 10, then we're going to go to OK, then we're going to go to shell, click on the top, tell it we want it 2mm, we've got the shell, that's all done. Go to fillet, we can then fillet this edge if we just flip it. And what I'm doing over here is just dragging this around so that I can see the view I want. Click on that surface, say 2mm, filleted the whole outside, and now as you can see I've got 4 commands here for what took me all of these commands there. So as you get used to it, as you understand what you're making, it can become a lot quicker. Now what you can do is go in and create a cylinder, and you can tell it you want it to be there. Now, one of the things I do like to do is to create a plane that's on that surface. So if we look at the back, I've created the plane to sit at that 2mm surface level rather than at the bottom, just because then I know that I'm working off the exact point I want. So yep, that's what I want. So let's go back to this view, and now I'm going to draw it off of there. So I want to create my cylinder off of that surface and top down and place it in the 10mm spot here, pull it and then make it 8mm. Yep, and then if I want, I can leave that there. If I'm happy with that, how high do I want it to be? I want it to be 8mm high. Done. So that's joined in. Now I could draw those all out again, or I could go in and use the pattern tool, rectangular pattern. You can choose either a face, a body, a feature, or a component. I'm going to choose a feature because it's this feature I want off of this body, and I want to have it once in that direction and once in that direction. So we go 1, 1, choose the directions. I want it to be, if this is 100 long, I think I want it to be 70. Is that right? And 30. Then you just drag it up directions. Here we go. Nope, don't want it. I want it to be not 1, 2. That's why I got it wrong. And we want this to be 2, and then you drag it in this direction. And then when you drag it, you can then change the distance. Again, just play around with these, you'll get the hang of it. So you can see if that's correct, you can look down from the top view and say, no, that's wrong. So this obviously needs to be 80 instead. There we go, that looks about right. So we're happy with that, and we've created that pattern, and we've marked them all out. Then of course you can use your hole tool, go up to create, hole, click on the surface you want to put a hole in, go to the top view, zoom right in, and then what you'll see is as I move this around, there's a little center point. It's got it exactly in the center point. Then you can choose whether you want it to be a simple hole, a tapped hole, an angle hole, or a flat bottom hole. This particular hole we want it to go all the way through and to be a diameter of 4. Yeah, 4 is good. And now I've got a hole in my object, and you can do that over and over again. And you can see how quickly, once you learn some of these tools, you can start to put these objects together. In this version of doing it, of creating the hollow object, obviously you would have to go through the whole process again to make the top, but as it's so quick, you shouldn't really need to do construction technique. You could of course do the construction lines and then manufacture it this way and just keep the construction lines as a way of referencing whether or not it's correct and accurate, but as you can see, as you become more advanced and you learn some of the extra tools, it should speed up how to make your products. If you want to see how to create the assembly, then just look at the previous assembly video and it will show you how to drag the two different files in. One of the other things I will say is when you come to create your lid for this, if you're manufacturing it this way using just the simple tools, then make sure you save it as a different file and bring it in for your assembly. It makes things a lot easier. If you don't do that, then you need to start making them different bodies and different components in the same file, and just be sure they're not the same item and linked in any way. But if you have any of those problems, we'll sort that out in another video.